The 10-cent Australian coin from 1981 featuring Queen Elizabeth. 2 is a small yet significant piece of the country's decimal currency history, blending regal symbolism, national identity, and numismatic tradition. This coin, part of the standard circulating series, serves as a representative of Australia's post-decimalisation era. Introduced in 1966, when the country transitioned from the pound-shillings-pence system to a decimal system. Struck in 1981, this particular coin offers historical, economic, and design insights that reflect Australia's evolving coinage and its ties to the British monarchy. The nation's fauna and its unique character during the early 1980s. On the obverse front side of the 1981 10-cent coin is a right-facing effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. Designed by Arnold Machen, a British sculptor and coin designer, whose portrait of the Queen was used on many Commonwealth coins from the mid-1960s to the mid-1980s. In this portrait, the Queen is shown wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most iconic and commonly depicted pieces of royal jewelry. The inscription around her reads Elizabeth to Australia 1981, denoting her status as monarch and the issuing country and year. This design symbolizes the continuing link between Australia and the British monarchy, even as Australia was increasingly developing a more distinct national identity in cultural and political terms. The reverse side features the striking image of a superb lyrebird, Menura novaholania, with its famously elaborate tail feathers spread in display. This artwork was created by Stuart Devlin, official goldsmith and coin designer to the Queen, who was responsible for all the original decimal coin reverse designs in 1966. The lyrebird, native to Australia, is renowned not only for its ornate plumage but also for its exceptional mimicry of natural and artificial sounds. The design captures the bird mid-display, surrounded by fine detailing that adds depth and texture to the coin's surface. The numeral 10 appears prominently on the reverse, indicating the denomination. But no additional text is present on this side. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silvery appearance and durability suitable for everyday circulation. It has a mass of 5.65 grams. A diameter of 23.60 millimeters, and a reeded milled edge. These specifications have remained consistent for the Australian 10-cent coin since its introduction in 1966, providing familiarity and standardization. Across decades, the 1981 issue was produced by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, though 1981 was also notable for some overseas production due to demand in other coin denominations, though not typically for 10-cent coins. In terms of mintage, the 198110 cent coin was struck in very large numbers, reflecting Australia's growing economy and active coin circulation at the time. More than 65 million 10-cent coins were produced in 1981, making this coin relatively common and easily obtainable today. However, its age, design, and association with a particular portrait of the Queen give it historical and numismatic interest. Collectors may find examples in uncirculated condition UNC or mint sets, which were specially struck and preserved for collection rather than circulation. Such specimens are more desirable and valuable compared to well-worn circulated coins. From a historical context, the year 1981 was a period of social and political evolution in Australia. The nation was reflecting on its global identity, grappling with issues such as economic inflation, industrial modernization, and a growing push for constitutional independence from the United Kingdom. The coin, therefore, sits at a cultural crossroads, still bearing the symbols of British monarchy, yet featuring a distinctly Australian bird on the reverse, highlighting the growing appreciation for native flora and fauna in national iconography. The lyrebird, in particular, became a fitting symbol of Australia's uniqueness and adaptability. In the collector's market, the 1981 10-cent coin does not carry significant premium value unless in pristine proof or high-grade mint state condition. Circulated examples are usually valued at or near face value, although specific specimens with striking errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or double strike scan command higher prices depending on rarity and demand. Additionally, the coin forms part of annual mint sets, and coins from those sets often exhibit superior strike quality and preservation. In conclusion, the 1981 Australian 10-cent coin, featuring Queen Elizabeth II and the lyrebird, is more than just currency. It is a small artifact that captures the dual identity of Australia. During the early 1980s, one foot rooted in its Commonwealth heritage, and the other stepping toward a more independent national character. With its elegant design, durable construction, and cultural symbolism, the coin continues to circulate, teach, and inspire, reflecting both continuity and transformation in Australia's monetary history. Whether viewed by a casual observer or a seasoned numismatist, the 1981 10-cent coin stands as a modest yet meaningful piece of Australian heritage. The 1983 Australian 10-cent coin, featuring Queen Elizabeth II, is a small yet significant piece of numismatic and historical interest, reflecting both the evolving identity of the Australian nation and its long-standing ties to the British monarchy. Struck in the year 1983 by the Royal Australian Mint, this coin forms part of Australia's decimal currency system, which was introduced in 1966 to replace the imperial system. The 10-cent coin, since its inception, has carried consistent motifs that reflect Australian heritage and nature, while the obverse portrait of Queen Elizabeth II serves as a testament to Australia's constitutional monarchy and its connection to the Commonwealth of Nations. The 1983 issue is particularly interesting because of its continued use of the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. Designed by Arnold Machen, which had been in circulation from 1966 to 1984. This effigy features a young queen wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara facing right, with the legend inscribed around Elizabeth to Australia 1983. This elegant and classic portrait is both regal and iconic, having appeared on millions of coins throughout the Commonwealth. On the reverse, the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin displays the image of a superb lyrebird Manura novahollandia, extraordinary native Australian bird known for its remarkable tail feathers and astonishing mimicry abilities. The design was created by Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. The bird is shown in an elaborate display posture, with its tail feathers curved majestically over its back, forming a beautifully symmetrical and intricate pattern. The number 10 is prominently displayed on the lower right, denoting the coin's face value. This reverse design has remained unchanged since 1966 and is widely praised for its detailed craftsmanship and symbolic resonance. Representing Australia's unique fauna and natural beauty, the 1983 10-cent coin is composed of cupro-nickel, 75%, copper, and 25% nickel, giving it a silvery appearance with excellent resistance to wear and tarnishing. The coin has a mass of 5.65 grams, a diameter of 23.6 AO millimeters, and a thickness of 2.00 millimeters, with a redded milled edge. Consistent with standard specifications since the introduction of decimal coinage. Despite being a circulating coin, many of the 1983 dated 10-cent pieces have retained relatively good condition. Due to the durable nature of the alloy and the coin's relatively infrequent handling compared to smaller denominations, in terms of mintage, the Royal Australian Mint struck approximately 45.5 million of these coins in 1983, making it a common date in circulation, though condition, toning, and striking quality can affect its desirability among collectors. A historical perspective, 1983 was a notable year for Australia, as it marked a period of economic recovery and political change with the election of Prime Minister Bob Hawke, whose policies would shape the nation for a decade. The coin, though small, served as a daily medium of exchange for Australians navigating changes in government, economy, and society. For numismatics, coins like the 1983 10-cent piece capture a snapshot of Australian life and identity, tied to a period when tradition and modernity coexisted. Additionally, This coin represents the final full year before the introduction of the Raphael Makhlouf portrait of the Queen in 1985, as number 10-cent coins were issued for circulation in 1984, marking the end of the Mackin portrait era for this denomination. While the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin remains, it's quite common and holds only modest value in circulated condition, typically ranging from face value up to a few dollars. Depending on condition, it holds greater interest when found in uncirculated or proof states, especially for mint sets. Collectors may seek out well-struck specimens with full details on the lyrebird's feathers and minimal wear on the Queen's tiara and facial features. Furthermore, high-grade examples certified by third-party grading companies such as PCGS or NGC can command higher prices in the market. Overall, this coin continues to hold its place in both pockets and collections as a representative of Australia's commitment to its natural heritage, its monarchy, and the design excellence of its national coinage. The 1999 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a small yet historically and numismatically meaningful piece of Australia's modern decimal currency system. This coin represents an enduring period in Australia's monetary development, bearing a design that remained largely unchanged since the nation's decimalization in 1966, yet with subtle annual differences in minting portraiture and mintage volume that make each year's coin unique to collectors and historians alike. The 1999 edition specifically stands as a representative of the final years of the 20th century, a bridge between the past and future of Australia's economic identity. On the obverse front of the coin, we find the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, who was Australia's reigning monarch at the time. The effigy used in 1999 was designed by Ian Rank Broadley, a British sculptor, and was introduced in 1998, placing the previous portrait by Raphael Makhlouf. Rank Broadley's depiction was considered more mature and realistic, capturing the Queen with a sense of dignity, experience, and grace befitting her long reign. The inscription around the portrait reads "Elizabeth to Australia, 1999," with the Queen facing right, as is traditional in Commonwealth coinage, alternating direction with each successive monarch. The reverse back of the coin features the iconic superb lyrebird Menura novahollandia. It's one of Australia's most remarkable native birds, known for its extraordinary tail and mimicking abilities. This intricate design was created by Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen, and has remained consistent on the 10-cent coin since 1966. The lyrebird is shown with its tail feathers elegantly fanned, curling upward in a symmetrical and decorative style, symbolizing Australia's rich biodiversity and artistic heritage. Below the bird is the denomination 10, denoting its face value. This 10-cent coin is made from cupronickel, a durable alloy composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin has a diameter of 23.6 millimeters, a thickness of 2.00 millimeters, and a weight of 5.65 grams. The edge is reeded milled, standard feature on many coins designed to deter clipping and provide a tactile sense for the visually impaired. The 1999 10-cent coin was minted at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, and it had a relatively high circulation mintage of approximately 94.7 million. This large mintage reflects Australia's widespread use of cash in everyday transactions during the late 1990s. Before digital payment systems became more prevalent, due to its high mintage and the fact that it contains no precious metal content, the coin generally has only modest value in the collector market, with circulated examples worth face value, and uncirculated or mint condition coins fetching a small premium depending on condition and packaging. From a historical context, the year 1999 was a time of technological transition in Australia, with the turn of the millennium approaching and increasing integration of the internet and digital services into everyday life. In this environment, physical coins like the 10-cent piece still played a vital role in commerce, vending machines, payphones, and public transport. It was also a year leading up to a pivotal moment in Australian politics, the 1999 Australian Republic referendum, in which the nation voted to remain a constitutional monarchy, thereby reinforcing the significance of Queen Elizabeth II's continued presence on Australian coinage. collectors and numismatists may take particular interest in examining the finer details of this coin, such as strike quality, die alignment, potential errors like doubling or cuds, and any uncirculated examples from mint sets. While no major varieties are recorded for the 1999 10-cent coin, minting anomalies always attract niche attention. In summary, the 1999 Australian 10-cent coin is a representative artifact of Australian currency at the close of the 20th century. It combines classical design elements, like the lyrebird and monarch's portrait, with modern minting techniques. Although common in circulation, it still holds educational and cultural value, especially as the reign of Queen Elizabeth II becomes a defined historical era. For casual collectors, it may be a basic entry in their decimal collection, but for those appreciating the subtle transitions in portraiture and minting history, it carries a quiet significance. The 1992 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a small yet culturally significant piece of modern Australian coinage. Minted by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, this coin belongs to the decimal currency system first introduced in Australia on the 14th of February 1966, composed of copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel. The 1990 to 10-cent coin weighs 5.65 grams, has a diameter of 23.60 millimeters, and features a reeded milled edge. The obverse of the coin showcases the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Makloff. This design was introduced in 1985 and remained on Australian coinage until 1998. Makloff's portrait is noted for its more regal and idealized depiction of the Queen, with her wearing the George IV state diadem, an ornate crown featuring diamonds and pearls. Surrounding her portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II in Australia 1992, clearly denoting the monarch, the issuing country, and the year of issue. The reverse of the coin features a beautifully stylized image of a lyrebird, designed by Stuart Devlin, who served as the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen. The lyrebird is native to Australia, and known for its spectacular tail feathers and mimicry of natural and artificial sounds, making it a fitting symbol of Australia's unique fauna. The bird is depicted with outstretched tail feathers and finely rendered plumage, making the reverse side of this coin one of the most elegant designs in the Australian coin series. There is no mint mark on circulation coins, as all were struck in Canberra. In terms of mintage, approximately 37.9 million 10-cent coins were issued in 1992 for general circulation. This makes the coin relatively common and easy to find in change or in collections, although uncirculated in proof versions, which were also released in mint sets, hold more numismatic value.
The 1992 10-cent coin has no significant errors
or varieties widely recognized by collectors, though coins in brilliant uncirculated condition, or those struck with full detail and no wear, are more desirable. The coin's value in circulated condition typically ranges from face value up to a modest premium, while mint state or proof examples can fetch higher prices depending on condition, eye appeal, and packaging. From a historical perspective, 1992 was a year of economic challenge in Australia, marked by the lingering effects of the early 1990s recession. However, the Royal Australian Mint continued its efforts to produce high-quality coinage, and the 10-cent coin of this year stands as a resilient artifact of a nation progressing through economic hardship. Moreover, coins from this period remain important in understanding how Australia evolved its modern currency system, incorporating both traditional monarchy imagery and native symbolism. The use of Queen Elizabeth II's effigy underscores Australia's status as a constitutional monarchy and Commonwealth realm, while the inclusion of the lyrebird continues to reflect national identity and pride in natural heritage. Thus, the 1992 Australian 10-cent coin represents more than its monetary face value. It reflects the enduring legacy of British-Australian ties, artistic design excellence, and the rich biodiversity of the continent. Whether found in change, tucked in a collection, or studied by numismatists, it continues to be a tangible link to Australia's modern history and cultural fabric. The 2001 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a small but historically meaningful piece of modern Australian currency that reflects the enduring traditions of Commonwealth monarchy, Australia's evolving minting technology, and the numismatic interests surrounding regular circulating issues. Minted by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, this coin was part of Australia's standard decimal coinage system, which replaced the pre-decimal pound-based system in 1966. By 2001, the 10-cent coin had become a well-recognized and frequently circulated denomination used daily by millions of Australians for small transactions such as public transportation, vending machines, and everyday retail purchases. The obverse front side of the 2001 10-cent coin bears the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, a British sculptor whose portrait of the Queen was introduced in Australia in 1999 and used until 2019. His design is noted for its more realistic and unidealized depiction of Her Majesty, showing greater facial detail, including signs of age. Unlike the earlier, more youthful portrayals by Mary Gillick, Arnold McCoo, or Raphael Maclove. Around the portrait, the inscription reads, "Elizabeth to Australia, 2001. With the Queen facing to the right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a piece she is frequently shown wearing on Commonwealth coinage. On the reverse side, the coin features the classic and elegant image of a lyrebird, a uniquely Australian ground-dwelling bird renowned for its extraordinary ability to mimic natural and artificial sounds from its environment. This iconic reverse design was created by Stuart Devlin, the goldsmith, an official Australian coin designer responsible for many of the designs on Australia's decimal currency. The lyrebird stands gracefully, with its ornate tail feathers displayed in sweeping curves that give the composition a sense of movement and intricate texture. This design has remained unchanged since the introduction of the 10-cent coin in 1966 and has become one of the most recognized coin motifs in Australian numismatic history. The specifications of the 2001 10-cent coin are as follows. It is made of copper nickel, 75% copper, 25% nickel, giving it a silvery appearance. The coin has a diameter of 23.60 millimeters, a thickness of 2.00 millimeters, and a mass of 5.65 grams. The edge of the coin is reeded milled, which serves both a tactile function and a security feature against clipping or counterfeiting. While 10-cent coins are small in value, they are struck with the same quality as higher denominations and are expected to endure decades of circulation. As for mintage figures, in 2001, the Royal Australian Mint produced approximately 57.4 million 10-cent coins for general circulation. This was a relatively high mintage year, suggesting the coins are common and easily found in circulation even decades later. They were not issued in special commemorative designs that year for the 10-cent denomination. Although 2001 was notable for Australia's centenary of federation, during which special commemorative coins were produced for other denominations, such as the 20-cent and 50-cent pieces, the 10-cent coin, however, retained its traditional lyrebird design and was not part of the centenary-themed changes. From a numismatic standpoint, most 2001 10-cent coins hold low collector value unless they are found in uncirculated or mint condition or as part of Royal Australian Mint-issued year sets. A coin in pristine, brilliant, uncirculated condition may appeal to collectors or be sold individually or as part of a full decimal year set, especially with the Queen's effigy being Rank Broadley's more recent portrait at the time. Coins in regular circulated condition usually trade for face value 10 cents, though a high-grade version might fetch between $1 to $2 a UD among collectors, depending on the market and the coin's preservation over time. These coins also acquire numismatic historical value by serving as tangible markers of a period in Australia's monetary history, particularly under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait changed multiple times over her decades-long reign. This continuity and evolution of royal imagery, combined with Australia's distinctly native reverse designs, make coins like the 2001 10-cent piece both culturally significant and valuable for educational and collecting purposes. In conclusion, the 2001 Australian 10-cent coin is a classic example of stable, consistent coinage design in the decimal era, merging royal tradition with native Australian symbolism. While common in circulation, it is appreciated for its elegant artistry, durable metal composition, and its place in the broader narrative of Australian currency. Collectors prize high-quality specimens for their crisp details of the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II stands as a numismatic representation of continuity, national identity, and the evolving legacy of Australian coinage. Issued by the Royal Australian Mint, this coin belongs to the decimal series first introduced in 1966 when Australia transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence to the modern dollar and cent system. The 10-cent coin has remained largely unchanged in terms of design, which underscores its iconic status. In the nation's circulating currency, the 2005 edition continues this tradition while also reflecting the numismatic and cultural context of its time, combining tradition, modern minting techniques, and royal symbolism. On the obverse front of the coin is the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, a British sculptor whose portrait of the Queen was first introduced on Australian coinage in 1999. Rank Broadley's design is known for its realism and maturity, capturing the Queen in her later years with a sense of dignity and grace. In this effigy, she is shown facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, which is one of her most recognized regal accessories. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II and Australia 2005 clearly, identifying both the monarch and the issuing nation along with the year of minting. This obverse design remained standard on all Australian coins from 1999 through to 2018, making it one of the most recognizable images in everyday Australian life during that period. The reverse back of the 2005 10-cent coin showcases a beautifully detailed depiction of a male superb lyrebird Menura novaezelandia, one of Australia's most fascinating native birds. The lyrebird is famous for its ornate, lyre-shaped tail feathers and its extraordinary ability to mimic natural and artificial sounds. Designed by Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen, the image features the lyrebird mid-display with tail feathers fanned out in an elegant arc. This design has appeared on the 10-cent coin continuously since 1966 and is celebrated for its intricate lines and striking representation of Australian wildlife. The numeral 10 is prominently displayed to the left of the lyrebird, indicating the coin's denomination. In terms of specifications, the 2005 10-cent coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a durable cupronickel alloy suited for circulation. It has a mass of 5.65 grams, a diameter of 23.60 millimeters, and a thickness of 2.00 millimeters. The edge is reeded milled, providing tactile feedback and helping to prevent counterfeiting. These physical characteristics have remained consistent since the coin's introduction, reinforcing its reliability in commerce and everyday transactions. The Royal Australian Mint, located in Canberra, produced the 2005 10-cent coin with a substantial mintage of approximately 67.1 million coins, making it a common circulation issue. Because of this large quantity, the coin is not considered rare, and in circulated condition, it typically carries only face value. However, uncirculated or mint state specimens, especially those with high grades such as MS65 or higher, can attract modest premiums from collectors, particularly those assembling year sets or seeking superior examples for numismatic collections. Proof versions were also struck for collector sets, exhibiting mirror-like fields and frosted reliefs, which showcase the artistry of the lyrebird and Queen's effigy in remarkable detail from a historical and cultural perspective. Issue was minted during a period of relative stability in Australia, both politically and economically. Queen Elizabeth II remained a central figurehead in the Commonwealth realms, including Australia, where she was still the reigning monarch. although discussions about republicanism and constitutional reform occasionally resurfaced during this time. The Queen continued to be widely respected, and her portrait remained an essential feature of Australian currency. The 2005 coin, therefore, is not only a tool for everyday commerce, but also a subtle yet enduring emblem of Australia's constitutional monarchy and its ties to the British Crown. In conclusion, the 2005 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a fine example of modern Australian numismatics, blending elegant design, national symbolism, and practical function. While it may be common in circulation, its artistic merit, especially in uncirculated or proof formats, it a valued piece for collectors and historians alike. The enduring image of the lyrebird reminds users of Australia's rich, natural heritage, while the dignified portrayal of the Queen speaks to the continuity and identity of the Australian nation during the early 21st century.